Welcome back to For High Garage. This year I didn't do a whole lot of videoing for this channel during Easter Jeep Safari. Instead, I just had a really good time solidifying friendships, and one of which is Mike Harrington. If you've been in and around the 4x4 scene, you've come across Mike's work a time or two. For several decades, Mike's been the man behind the camera. He's a director, editor, and cameraman. If you're as old as me, you've seen his work and didn't even realize it.
I've fallen and I can't get up.
In the 4x4 scene of magazines and events, you know his work from Top Truck Challenge and The Ultimate Adventure. If you ever get the chance, buy him a cup of coffee or a glass of scotch, and you won't be disappointed. He's one of the best storytellers I have ever met. Now retired for fun, he is still out there, currently running camera and editing on the Gone Jeepin' YouTube channel, which is these guys, where you'll find legends Rick Payway and Chris Collard covering Jeeps and travel. I'll leave a link below to their channel in the description. This year, Mike asked me to be the camera driver during EJS, so he hopped in my XJ and we got to work, and he allowed me to shoot our in-cab shenanigans. This video is a compilation of jokes, stories, and his history. Know that he was involved in editing this video and is completely comfortable with his story being told. Stay to the end, it's worth it. As Walt Whitman said, keep your face towards the sunshine and the shadows will fall behind you. Now roll the intro, Mike.
Everyone's a pony, and they all eat rainbows and poop butterflies.
There's some poor side-by-side stuck behind us.
Oh, it's waving him around.
Shit, you alright, bud?
Yeah.
It's like one of those, better have a strong core kind of trails.
Yeah, yeah. And if you don't worry. You're going to get one for the day shot. Just come out here once a day for the next month, and you will.
Side-by-side play through so they don't ruin their entire week. Tyler, all of our cameras are in the back. Hold up while this guy comes through and I'll come up and get with you. Yeah, copy that. Yeah, we're full on.
Tyler, I'm going to ride past Liam. He's going to pull up the rear end, and I'll end up behind Chris eventually. So maybe mid-pack for you.
Copy that, Mike. Good.
Look serious. This is serious business now.
Oh.
Look happy. Look happy.
Oh, it's wheels.
Wheels. Okay, but now you're sad. Sad. Sad and overwhelmed. Okay.
Oh my goodness. Oh, Mike, I don't know. There's a rock. It's a rock, Mike.
Thank you for the stop turn.
Yeah, he's going to be disappointed because it's going to get dusty. I tell you what, no one's right behind you. Hold it here. Can I pull this mirror in? Or?
Yeah, you can do whatever you want to with that mirror. Yeah, I see it. Thanks. Yep, they're coming.
Somebody's driving something here. I'm gonna wait.
Mike wants you to come in nice and slow, Chris, so you can get him. And he wants to hop in, I guess, right behind you. Oop, found the bumper. I put it back there.
That's where I left that from. Okay, Liam's out of the car, so he's on the front.
What?
Look at that beast.
How you want your hamburger cooked?
What?
How do you want your hamburger cooked?
Good.
Oh, good. I like it like that too. Oh,
What's it cooked? Good.
oh, Jesus.
God bless America.
I learned the first year you really need the interviews and sound bites. It's nice to
Kind of break it up with interviews and stuff like that. Well, I was kind of thinking about splicing together just the funny moments on this video. We're videoing each other.
Yeah.
On.
Are you
And-
rolling now?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, you got to tell me when you're rolling so I don't pick my nose too many times.
No. I have very inappropriate friends. I know what to cut out, Mike. In fact, we have so many inappropriate jokes. I've started to put together a laugh track of just us laughing to inappropriate jokes that I can't share. So it's just like us in different places laughing. So, but yeah, I was like, I didn't know how to ask, but was wondering if at some point this trip, you didn't mind just talking about yourself on my camera.
Oh my God, I talk about myself all the time, asking my friends.
And I don't really have interview questions for you, but you can maybe just tell me a bit of your history, and then I'll kind of splice that in.
Perfect.
All righty then.
Life is great.
Yeah, isn't it?
I love it. Every day.
Soaking wet, whatever.
I'm not wet at all.
Not dusty.
I made sure my side wraps on over. Her, not so much.
Well, I told all the guys, we shot 8 days in the rain, 8 days in a row in the rain for you, eh? All my old rings are so tight. That's fine.
Perfect.
Someone asked Rick, you're driving that open top clear across country? What do you do if it rains? He said, get wet.
Yeah. I just melt. I'm made of sugar.
Yeah, I could tell the first time I met you.
Hey, I'm just like, if somebody doesn't even know who you are, your background, your history. I know you're here just for fun, but you're retired from the industry.
At age 15, I was working on a hamburger joint, making about 75 cents an hour. So I saved up my money and I headed to California in the summers, and I'd land in LAX. They were shooting a series called McCloud, and I watched that for the next 4 hours, and I figured out who the director was. And when I got to my sister's house, a couple days later, I turned on the TV like I was going to be able to see that show. That didn't happen, of course.
Yep.
So a year later, when I went the second time, I kid you not, we walked into the house, into her house, set my bags down, came out to the living room, turned on the TV, and there was that episode of McCloud that I just watched the year before. Our high school had a planetarium, a great woodworking shop, a mechanic shop, metal fabrication shop. You know, in those days they were teaching the trades. I took that little production class in the high school for one day, called Career Day. And for the next 3 years I dreamed about it. But how would a little town boy, you know, from Marion ever get into anything like that? Heck, I don't know. So I went off and joined the Marine Corps, and the recruiter told me, when you get there, just tell them you want to do a film. Well, the Marine Corps don't work like that.
Yeah.
So I learned. So I drove for a colonel for, I don't know, 5 or 6 months. And one time driving him down to San Diego from 29 Palms, California, he said, you didn't join to drive me around. What did you really want to do? And I said, photography, film, something. I don't know, a couple weeks later, the sergeant major was coming back from some meeting in Washington, called me in the office, and said, we got you transferred. The colonel's getting transferred, and we're going to transfer you to the instructional TV unit right here on the base.
Oh, cool.
Well, now since I drove for the colonel, everybody knew me. They saluted the car with the flags. I'll let you negotiate here a little bit.
Hey, how's that look? Is that a drop or anything?
No, it's going to be a little bit, but it's...
Nothing. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, take it easy as the rear tires come to about here, but you'll come off there.
Cool.
So I went over to report to Major Smith that ran the television studio, and he just tucked me under his wing and said, come along, I'll show you how this goes. It was with a great bunch of guys, gunny sergeants, first lieutenants, and all that.
Yeah.
Well, that major took such a liking to me. Anytime the new equipment came in, like newfangled 3/4 inch machine-to-machine editing, let Mike figure it out, and then he'll tell us all about it. Back in the Marine Corps, shot my first off-road safety videos because a couple of jarheads, when there were no signs or barbed wire fence, tear across the desert and nose first into a 40-foot deep mine shaft. Busted up their legs, laid down there and suffered, caught the spare tire on fire. Now all the officers, people in charge back at the base, they knew that we'd like to wheel. We'd go dig around what they call the Hammers area now, and Joshua Tree, and all that stuff. You guys need to do an off-road safety video. We knew you're out there wheeling all the time, so we did.
Okay.
And I stood there with Barry, and I said, "Oh man, isn't this cool? We're out here in our civvies."
Yeah.
We weren't in uniform.
Yeah.
We got a brand new camera package.
Yeah.
We love off-road. This is great. Off-road safety video for everybody. Boy, wouldn't this be a nice way to make a living in 1975. So I got a great start. A buddy of mine, he ended up working in the graphics department, and I in the TV studio. And of course, we worked together quite a bit, became best of friends. So we got an assignment, meet out in front of the general's headquarters and hop on the CH-47, and they're going to fly out there and shoot what they're doing. They're practicing building a portable runway in the sand. They pulled a trap door up in the middle of it, and my buddy would grab my belt, and I'd go to my knees, and I'd lean out, and he'd hold me in. I'd
Oh
get
my
aerial
God.
shots. Yeah. And we had a camera without stabilizers or bolts or mount or any of that kind of stuff, so that was a lot of fun. One time they waved us off 3 or 4 times, and it turned into be out there at 1:30. Definitely think we got at 1:30. Barry says, "I'm going home, eating my favorite ham sandwich, cheese and mayonnaise, and here we go." We climbed in that helicopter and lifted off, going across the hot desert, and that diesel wafting up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I look over and he's got his cover off, puking on it right in front of other officers and stuff going. You're always supposed to wear your cover, but I think they understood why Barry wasn't.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah, did a lot of interesting things. When I was driving for the colonel, saw the heat-seeking missiles. I don't think the first of them, but shoulder mount heat-seeking missiles that would track, and we saw all kinds of shot Harrier jets, vertical takeoffs, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So that was a great beginning. Hey, wait, what happened?
We scouted around you. You couldn't even find us.
You guys magically appeared. What's going on here?
We went to go get chicken and you weren't at the store.
Yeah,
But you got me some?
so we are magic. FM.
Picked your brown pants up at the dry cleaner.
Thank you.
All right, the little short Mike Harrington bio to be
Are we
continued.
rolling again?
Yeah, you can say whatever the hell you want to.
Yeah, I know. I see, that's the problem, right? I'm a storyteller and I got all these details that mean a lot to me.
Oh, yeah.
And
then
I
share away.
think paint the picture, but sometimes the eyes glaze over.
Yeah.
Broadcast television, a couple years, small market, big market. Got hired away from there. The ad agency did all the direct response commercials that you might remember from years ago. Help, I fell and I can't get up.
Yeah.
Contour chairs, Craftmatic beds, and York Security Shutter, and that was fun. And that was a client for about 25 years. Got hired at that ad agency and put together the production department. Put a good team together.
Awesome.
Ended up, it got so busy I had to rent facilities at Paramount Studios to do all my editing. And then after a while I thought I built my own facility in Santa Monica. And then that's when I got hooked up with four-wheeler.
What all did you do with four-wheeler?
Well, I got a call from four-wheeler in '95. Dean DeWitt called and said, "Hey, we want to shoot tire technology videos, so we do an enhanced for the publication."
Yeah.
Enhanced package for the, and so we did Mickey Thompson Dunlop tires. And then the next thing was, hey, we do this event every year called Top Truck Challenge. So I said, yeah, let's go. And so I shot my first one in '97. That's how I got connected with four-wheeler. And next thing you know, I was out doing the top truck.
Yeah.
Oh, the management would change every couple of years because the magazines were being bought and sold, so there was always new management. No, don't use him. Hire my nephew or hire whoever.
Yeah.
And then a year later, they'd call me. And then they'd drop me off for a couple of years because they're going to handle it in-house, but they hire me as a cameraman. So between 95 and 2018, several of the top trucks, not all of them, they were trying, I think he's in-house staff or something.
Sure.
Problem with that, they're 9 to 5. I do it out of passion, so I'm from early morning till late at night.
Yeah. Not getting paid for this.
No, this one. No, I used to be able to make a living out of this. Matter of fact, my whole damn crew could make a living.
I'm definitely not paying you for this video.
Oh, God, so there I am rambling along about myself. If you see me on the trail, say hi.
Yeah.
I've already heard your story. Shut up.
There's going to be 4 people that watch this, but you know what? 20 years from now, I'm going to watch it and go, man, that was a good day.
Oh, God. I pop up some video or pictures from the old days.
Well, I've found it entertaining to like go back and see Ultimate Adventure stuff that you helped film and stuff like that, and going, oh crap, that's Mike.
And now they've got this new UA.
It's Unreal Adventure.
Unreal Adventure.
Yeah, and that's
same team, great guys.
And they're just YouTube now, but I've watched their stuff and it's still just as entertaining. I used to think that when I read the magazine, I was like, man, I wish they would do a lot more video, because the pictures are fantastic, but the video can sometimes be way better. And so yeah.
That first summer I went to California. When I came back, I went right back to work at that hamburger joint. I was a cock of the walk because I've been to California. I got the cool t-shirt to prove it and all that stuff. There was a little girl sitting over there on top of the counter, and I'm telling my story to all my guys. I'm holding court. She's paying me no never mind. She was cute as a button. Her name's Mary. That's the boss's daughter. Over the course of 3 years, we become friends. Married a cool boyfriend that had the cool car, and I was 15. Young, dumb, full of cum, I'd say. Didn't really know what to do. We became best of friends. I would not interfere with her time with her boyfriend. Didn't have that confidence. But we liked more than each other more than we admitted. I got an invitation to go to her wedding. I took leave, came back, sat in the back of the church. 25 years later, I come back to care for a dish sick mom. I couldn't find Mary's phone number, but I called her mom. She was about 88 about that time, but she knew who I was because she always wanted Mary and I to get together. So I called. She said, oh, you got to call Mary. I figured I'd see Mary and her husband, their 2.5 kids, and the barking dog with the picket fence. Yeah. Well, she'd gone through a divorce, and so had I. So I sat down on her couch, and we picked up where we left off. And I sat on that couch, and we talked every night for the week I was in town. And then she made me marry her.
That was excellent.
Happily ever after we are now. She went through her divorce, I went through mine. Her kids remembered me from a previous visit, or one of them did, at 6. And when I came back, they were telling me the story. Mom looked for you in all the movie credits. She looked at all of them. She was trying to track you down. So when I came home, that's restarted that life.
That's awesome, Mike. Yeah, that's really awesome. Oh, hang on a second. Blink, 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 blink. Okay. Give my old sappy ass.
Hey, I was just going to say, thanks for letting me tell that my long-winded story, but especially there at the end.
Yeah. Well, thanks for sharing. Thanks for letting me, share that with anybody who wants to watch it. Thanks again, Mike, for sharing your story. And thank you guys for hanging in and watching it. Till next time.